Nino, Jesus Christ. All right, folks, I'm afraid it's time. We held it off for as long as we could, but we couldn't. We had to do it eventually. Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad. You know, he made a video about me after our first debate. I can't help but notice he didn't make a video about me after the second one. I wonder if he wanted to keep people from watching the second one as much as possible. No, folks. No, I know. He's insufferable. But don't worry. We aren't going to be here forever. Okay? We aren't going to be here forever. Because the funniest thing happened. You know, sometimes I check the channels. What are people talking about? And this video reminded me so much of something that happened to me recently. It was a real, you know, revelatory experience for me. Let's experience it together.
Remember Carlos Maza from Vox.com. He used to make their Strike Through series, where he would basically push Marxist propaganda. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. I mean, if you look at his bio, he calls himself a Marxist pig. And
damn. Didn't Carlos Maza recently do something that irritated me? Was it something about Bernie Sanders or like Biden or Warren? It was something about the election. I felt he came off rather libby. I'm a better anarchist than you. Well, anyway, so Sargon discovers the existence of this Maza guy.
In his videos, he cites Marxist ideas, and he openly calls them Marxist.
Yep.
So it's pretty obvious what his political persuasion is.
Yep.
He's a friend of the working man, is what it is. And he he attacked Stephen Crowder and his YouTube channel back in May 2019 and successfully managed to get it demonetized, though not deplatformed.
I like the framing of this. For those of you who don't remember, this was after Stephen Crowder made a long-term systemic series of attacks against Carlos Maza, to the extent that Carlos Maza was getting hundreds of insults and death threats like every time that he would wake up, including Stephen Crowder just making fun of his lisps and calling him a queer and shit. And, you know, Stephen Crowder did, of course, the, you know, socialism is for fag shirt. So all a great meme. But
couldn't get them to actually take it down, but he could get them to take away Stephen Crowder's income.
Yeah, Crowder tried to sell a shirt that said Carlos Maza is a fag. So, I mean, this all violates YouTube TOS. I don't give a fuck about Crowder. I don't give a fuck what he does with himself in his private time or how long a walk he takes off a short pier.
Which I thought was totally unfair, given how YouTube had said that Crowder had actually done nothing wrong in calling Maza a lispy queer, because, well, you know, it's just bants, isn't it? But no, Carlos Maza goes on this
what are we on about?
Massive, long Twitter tirade about clicks. YouTube wants clicks. By Crowder loses his channel, I'm going to get hit again with another avalanche.
So, I know what you're thinking right now. Am I really going over a video posted today where Sargon comments on a Twitter thread from May of last year?
Again, that's what's so fucked up about these platforms. They create wild man in the world. It's just awful for him. And then, after all of this, PR catastrophe for Vox, they suddenly fired him. And it's like, well, actually, we don't have the resources for you to do your little show.
Wait, he's looking at the article right now. He didn't get fired. He just left Vox because he wanted to pursue his own stuff, because he got independently popular. He wasn't fired. What? Wait, what? It says in the article he's showing that he left, not that he was fired. No, guys, I know this video came out today, March 9th, 2020. But don't worry, we're getting to something.
And so he was like, right, that's it. I will go to YouTube, the platform that I hate, that creates monsters, and I shall start a career there as...
So the theme here is, I'm going to say it, retards like Sargon of Akkad and Stefan Molyneux, their one joke or their one argument is imagining hypocrisy. That is their one argument. Notice how he's laughing here. He thinks he's really gotten Carlos Maza. Carlos Maza has criticized YouTube's enforcement of TOS, and now Carlos Maza is gonna make a YouTube channel. Look at how much he laughs. Look at how funny this is to him.
I hate that creates monsters, and I shall start a career there as an independent narcissist. And
it's just making a YouTube channel. I don't know, independent narcissist, but yeah, the fake laughter really emphasizes how funny this is to him, you know, like, it says he disagreed, but then he went ahead and made a YouTube platform anyway. He was already on YouTube, like, he just worked through Vox on YouTube, so his engagement with the platform hasn't changed, but...
And of course, because he's...
Also, yeah, Sargon criticizes YouTube all the fucking time. Can you imagine if people did that to him, like, anytime he criticized YouTube? People are like, huh, but you're still on YouTube. The reason people don't do that is because the people who criticize Sargon tend not to be conservative, which means they generally have an IQ higher than one would have to be disposed towards that type of argument.
Well connected. He gets promoted by, like, The Verge, all of these exact...
So on and so forth.
Covering him.
So we're nearly 3 minutes in, and we're in on Sargon covering a 10-month-old Twitter thread, and he is falsely claiming that Carlos Maza was fired when he willfully left the Vox, and is amused by the hypocrisy of someone at once criticizing a platform and being on it. Funny from Sargon, who complains about his demonetizations and bitches about them like a fucking baby all the time. I'm sorry, wait. Sargon of Akkad. Can I find that absolutely embarrassing image he did with the tape over his mouth? Sargon! Sargon, mate. Bloke. Oh, this wasn't Bants, was it? No, you actually had this done. Oh, complaining about censorship. Complaining about YouTube whilst also being on YouTube. Damn. Oh my God. Also, yeah, imagine it's funny. He just called Carlos Maza like a narcissistic whatever. Do you have any idea how self-absorbed somebody would have to be to do this shit? Like, can you even fathom? God, I've been banned off Twitch and now from YouTube with the streaming. I should just be like a bitch, like conservatives all the time. Every stream I can have like the tape over my mouth, you know what I mean? I can cut a slit in it so I can still talk, but I'll have like the tape X over my mouth, you know, like covering the beard and stuff, and I'll call myself Punished Vosh. I'll have like an eye patch and like makeup scars. YouTube tried to get me. They tried to silence my voice. They knew my anti-corporate advocacy would one day be the death of them, but what they didn't know was that even from the darkness I rise. Yeah, like, you know, I can't imagine being this self-obsessed. This specific image was probably done in response to Sargon of Akkad's... well, this is October 23rd. I don't actually know if this was in response to the Patreon ban or YouTube, but I mean, he used Patreon while criticizing Patreon. He uses YouTube while criticizing YouTube.
Well, hello there. It's happened again. Sorry.
Here's a video from Computing Forever Archive where he talks about another video that Sargon did, where he had been censored. Like this, the grift continues. But again, this isn't why I'm here.
In fact, is because he tweeted out this. Hey, it looks like there's going to be a shitty article.
So this is the real gut buster. This is the real comedic gold of this oh yeah, and the Tommy Robinson video he was in, the white supremacist. Yeah, look at him. Damn, wouldn't it be a better world if he was always like this? Wouldn't that be just astonishing? He can still breathe through his nose. What a baby. Anyway, so this is the real comedic gold of this video.
About my family in the New York Post pretty soon, so I figured I'd get out ahead of it. Talking about my family like this is really uncomfortable, so please bear with me. Wow, what's happened? I mean, you guys were already doxxed, weren't you? So your public addresses must have already been known. So, I mean, what could we really be drawing about your family here? Let's see. My mum and her fiancé are very wealthy, thanks to a software company they started together when I was a kid. As a result, I've gotten to live a life of tremendous privilege. I've got to go to college without debt.
He's laughing very hard. Can somebody explain to me the joke in chat? Is it you can't be a socialist if you had a wealthy childhood?
And take low-paying internships when I graduated without worrying about rent or health insurance. Right. It's all starting to come together now, isn't it? It's all starting to fall into place.
What's that quote? If you're poor and you're a socialist, they call you bitter. If you're rich and you're a socialist, they call you guilty. Remember, again, this is what people like him do. They don't have an argument, so all they do is vaguely just gesture at hypocrisy. Sargon did it in his debate with me, when 4 times in a row he said, well, I just can't believe you'd advocate for immigration when you say you're a socialist, but it hurts the lowest wage class. To which I would respond, of course, like, it benefits everyone, and we can use other policies to benefit it. But he would keep doing it because that's his only thing. Even, mind you, it's not an actual argument. Remember that even if everyone is being honest, pointing out hypocrisy isn't making an argument. They're not the same thing. If I make an argument, if I say, hey, it's bad for people to use this a particular type of toy because that toy was made with rape. It was a rape toy. It was made by rape. And then you say, can't help but notice you've got 5 of those toys over there. That may well be true, but you must notice that it is not an argument against what I have said. In his debate with me, he kept repeating the same points over and over, no matter how hard he got fucking burned on them, because he didn't know how to actually conjure an argument. He would do this time and time and time again. He would do it with the small businesses. Well, you say you want work at co-ops. This is his accent as far as I'm concerned. You say you want work at co-ops, Vosh, but can't help but notice most Americans work for small businesses. Eh? Which has nothing to do, but again, it's not about making arguments. It's about the hypocrisy. We just watched this very stream, a Steven Crowder video, where every single argument he made wasn't actually an argument. It was inventing a position of Bernie Sanders so he could then invent a counter argument that made him look silly. So it was saying that Bernie Sanders believes only the billionaires oppose him. Well, actually, Bernie Sanders, some regular Americans don't like you either. Like, it's never about the argument. It's always, always, always about the alleged hypocrisy, because it's a way for people to give the impression they're owning you without ever actually addressing your argument. It's best summed up, of course, in this, possibly, I think we can all agree, the most influential political comic of our time. This is like the stuff that'll get put into history books, folks. We all know it. We've seen it a million times. This is the defining political comic of our generation. Nothing Boris does will ever come even close to the majesty and the prescience of this comic. Sargon did it in his debate with me. Crowder did it like 3 or 4 times in the video we just watched. In my debate with Steven Crowder. Can I pull that up really quick? Is that possible? By the way, if you want to know like the rest of this video, it's literally just Sargon faking a laugh while he reads out the fact that a socialist was like wealthy as a kid. That's the whole thing. You want to see?
I've spent my professional life trying to use that privilege to advocate for a better world. Not for Steven Crowder or his employees. You can use that privilege. It doesn't have his way to rude. But what you have found. I'm aware that I am advocating for a system that shifts power away from members of my family. I love and I'm tremendously proud of my mum. I wouldn't be the person I am today without her. Whoa. We don't see eye to eye on everything when it comes.
Wait, what was that? I don't watch all this beforehand.
About everything. People are not one-dimensional creatures. All of this nonsense.
Oh, sorry, my debate was Stefan Molyneux. Stefan, fuck you.
Just doesn't work. But anyway, I am aware that higher taxes on the wealthy would disproportionately affect members of my family. I still think it's the right thing to do. I love and am tremendously proud of my mum. I wouldn't be the person I am today without her. Whoa.
What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Was Sargon abandoned by his mom or something? the statement, I love my mom, wouldn't be who I am today without her, that's, nothing better indicates that Sargon doesn't have any points and he's just looking for gotchas, but that's not even a gotcha. Like, he should have just, like, is this mommy issues on the part of Sargon, you know? Like, he read that and he was thinking back, like, to all the times his mom would beat his ass with a spoon and then throw him outside in the 14-degree, English cold. It's his bare feet on the snow and grass as he would wait for Mommy Dearest to rap 14 times on the wooden door so he could come back in, but sometimes he would have to wait days. Like I don't know what kind of living situation he had to deal with, but I think the statement, I would not be who I am without my mom, is a fairly reasonable one. Yeah, do you think he's trying to do some JLP stuff? You need to overcome your mother.
You don't see eye to eye what things. Like, just stop. This is just embarrassing.
The whole like, thing is literally just...
Can't afford to... Christ on a bike. I work my butt off to create videos that feel valuable enough to be funded by the people who support me on Patreon. Yeah, and your mother and your stepfather, the billionaires, are on...
Is his mom and stepfather billionaires? That's pretty big. Is that... Really?
On your Patreon. You list them in your fucking video.
What? See, again, like, the whole thing is literally just him being, but you have rich parents. That's the whole, I don't know if they're actually billionaires. I mean, maybe they are. If that's the case, I mean, that's pretty wild, but, you know. But, this hypocrisy thing, this attempt at making like a simulacrum of an argument, did I pronounce that right? Is just omnipresent. Concerns me. Stefan Molyneux did this in his debate with me too. So after let's be honest, brutally fucking destroyed Stefan Molyneux the entirety of the debate, where his answers were literally like he would ramble for 8 minutes and then say magic is where wealth comes from. Oh yeah, Sargon's just sad his mom doesn't support his failed political career, Pepe hands. Huggers. After I just obliterated Molyneux this entire time, like it wasn't even fucking close, because every time he would try to make an argument, he would ramble for 20 minutes, and then say like magic did it. Like magic is why wealth exists. I answered every question and provided counterpoints to every stupid argument he had. He was literally taking the Ayn Rand like great man theory. If you're defending great man theory and you believe yourself to be philosophically relevant, you are a fucking clown. And I'm okay going over this again because Stefan Molyneux shamelessly made 3 videos about the debate that I had with him. Here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one, where he does a debate breakdown. So I feel, fine in this. But towards the end of the debate, towards the end of this, we start talking about worker co-ops because I advocate for them, or I don't know. And he says, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the exact moment here.
Worse in university sometimes because you come out with negative economic value. I don't want to play Mr. Gotcha game, but I guess I do in a little way because you did use the phrase, some people are
to like a business. But I know don't. I'm happy to say that. This is like we need this for our society to continue. My mistake here was arguing in good faith, but in the future I can fix that. Essentially what happened is towards the end of the debate, Stefan Molyneux said, now, I'm not trying to gotcha or anything, but tell me about these worker co-ops. Why don't you worker co-op your channel? And he did that line of argumentation for like 20 minutes. Where he's like, why don't you, I'm not trying to gotcha, but why don't you worker co-op your channel? Oh, well, you say you're a socialist, why don't you bring on less successful leftist YouTubers and give them a portion of the pay, Oh, you say but you have an editor, surely. Why don't you hire a full-time editor? Nah. So, again, because Stefan Molyneux is, again, as I say before, spectacularly retarded. Get fucking mad, chat. I don't care. Fill the screen with Reese. Get fucking mad. A spectacularly unintelligent human being. instead of making an argument, because he's gotten blown the fuck out in the argument the entire time, he pushes for like 20 minutes to argue that I am in some way a hypocrite for not worker co-oping my channel. And then, guys, the memes come full circle. Are you ready for it? Is that how you spell daily? Jesus Christ. The memes come full circle because after that, where is it? Where is it? The astounding hypocrisy of socialists. This is how Sargon puts my name in his mouth after I blow his asshole open in our second debate. This video is no shit, in part, about how I'm a hypocrite for not worker co-oping my channel. Nice one, Sargon. You can come on my channel anytime if you want to talk about it. So this is, I really need to make this totally fucking clear. 2 points I'm trying to illustrate, okay? The first point, because I get this all the time from people who don't actually give a fuck, but I'll answer it right now. YouTube owns the means of production. I do not. I am the means of production for the channel. I don't own a business, and I don't have employees. Nothing about worker co-ops mean that you have to hire a minimum number of people. Like if you're doing a solo operation, you have to hire everyone full-time. Nothing about worker co-op advocacy means believing people should make their YouTube channels worker co-ops. Nothing about my channel is eligible for what worker co-ops advocate for. If you think there is a hypocrisy in me saying we need to put businesses of a certain threshold into some sort of worker cooperative system, and you're responding with, well, why don't you worker co-op your one-person YouTube channel then, where you call upon the work of others with extreme infrequency, then you are a moron who is not making an argument. Also, nothing about worker co-ops means not believing in contracting work. If you want to like do a business, but you want to hire like a graphic designer to do media for it, like a logo or something like that, you know, nobody who believes in worker co-ops would argue that you have to hire that person full-time and then give them healthcare because you paid them $500 to do 3 hours of work. Nobody advocates for that. Literally nobody advocates for that. But they think it's a gotcha, and they're so obsessed with it because they're very, very stupid. And they know that going one-to-one against me on any kind of empirical, argumentative basis is a fucking death sentence, as Sargon knows, and now as Molyneux knows, which is why he had to switch tactics towards the end there. Not included here is Molyneux's fucking tweet storm, where he non-stop whined and bitched and complained about the apparent hypocrisy of socialists not sharing 50% of their YouTube income with other people if they own a YouTube channel. He made like a bunch of tweets in this, all deliberately designed to try and get engagement from me, because Molyneux knows that his channel and his popularity are dying, and that his cult is going to need outside funding pretty soon, or else he's going to collapse. Stefan really does have a cult. Did you guys know that? Early on, Stefan had a dedicated community of people. He would try to standard cult stuff, where he would try to impart truths to these people to distance them from their friends and family. He would keep the secret truths about how they need to like buy in further into Molyneux's program on a separate website where they would only be privy to if they operated on like their elite level. And he, I shit you not, had a elite like community of people who paid him the most money, who when they ended up leaving his community, he publicly doxed them and posted their resumes online on a private site for his fans to access so they could publicly shame them. I shit you not. These are people who gave Stefan Molyneux thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, but because they decided to reconnect with their families, which triggers Stefan Molyneux because Molyneux was upset by the existence of families because his mom beat him or some shit, he publicly doxed them and posted all their information about them. That's not a joke. Stefan Molyneux is an actual cult leader, but he's a failing one. Very sad, failing, losing all of his fans, just like his hair. Hey, Stefan Molyneux, my good friend, why is it that my video of my debate with you has 86,000 views on a 60K channel, and your debate with me has 10,000 more on a nearly 1 million K channel. Something's going wrong with that ratio. Something's going wrong with that ratio. Oof. Feel like you should be doing a little better. Sargon's doing better than you. What is this? 7.2K, 18K. He's getting a few over 100K here. I don't know, guys. Maybe there's a reason why he drama stirs so much on... 1 million, sorry. Maybe there's a reason why he drama stirs so much on Twitter with those egg tweets, because he's trying to get that engagement. Because he knows that the only emotion that he can cultivate from people is outright disgust these days. 1 million K, 1 billion YouTube subs. How do these people get subscribers? Because he's been around a long time, and he makes videos on a lot of subjects, and he deliberately tries to produce content to appeal to people who are outside of his reach. That's why he does Minecraft videos with his little daughter, trying to get kids in on his content. That's why he does movie reviews. Everything he does is designed to bring as many people into his fucking lunacy as possible. But it's not working. Sorry, Stefan. So sorry. You're losing money. Hurts. You could learn a little bit from Sargon. He has a daughter. Yeah, they probably, I'm sure, have more than a familial relationship. Judging what I know from Stefan Molyneux. Again, literally posting the docs of people who decided to leave his community to reconnect with their families. Can you imagine that? Anyway, yeah, overall, apart from slinging all conservatives for their general, moral and intellectual incompetence, the fact remains this. Whenever you're arguing with these people, they're gonna go for the hypocrisy route. They're not gonna go for actual arguments. I have experienced it so many times at this point that I don't actually believe conservative people are capable of making positive arguments anymore, as in advocating for an actual position. I just think all they do is lazily attempt to invent positions you have to imagine some kind of hypocrisy between them. At one point, Stefan said, well, why don't you get other YouTubers to come on your channel and share the income with them. So he was saying that to be a socialist who advocates for worker co-ops, I have to find random people and let them run my channel or present on my channel to share income with them. He thinks that worker co-ops mean charity. Like, in order to advocate, that means that if, by the way, I ran a real worker co-op, like an actual business that I own cooperatively, so I wouldn't run it, but I'd be part of, I suppose, like the managerial branch. Even if I did that, he would look at it. He would look at this perfect, like, flat hierarchy on a worker co-op, and he would say, well, you say you like worker co-ops, but I can't help but notice that you don't bring in homeless people and give them half of your money too. So there's no point in making like positive good faith arguments with these guys. You have to call them out directly. You have to say, hey, Stefan, can't help but notice you're very ugly and stupid. Also, you run a cult. Hey, listen, my dude, no socialist advocates for what you're arguing for. You don't understand what socialism or worker co-ops are. The fact that you're trying to ascribe hypocrisy here means you're inventing two completely disparate positions in lieu of actually making a positive argument with me. You got to do that. Do that with them, do that with him, do that with everyone, okay? Throw it out there. Throw it out there, folks. They can't engage in the actual policy specifics? No, of course they can. Remember, this is not like a difference in opinions. This is not some like, well, they have their side and we have our side and we both engage in good faith. No, we have the arguments. They do not. They are categorically stupid and dishonest. No, Libraven, all conservatives are either ignorant or argue in bad faith. But all of the massive conservative figures engage in these same bad faith tactics. Consistently, all of the time. Because that's all they can do. That is the limit of their abilities. It's very sad. According to Stefan Molyneux, world's greatest philosopher. Thought he'd come up with something better. Guess not. Anyway. That's the gist of that. There was other shit I wanted to talk about, but